What's up, YouTube? I'm back, Jonathan Irizarry. Man, so last night I made a video basically just talking about kind of how my bodybuilding experience began and the kind of the little things that happened prior to me ever entering the whole bodybuilding world and industry, and how basically just how I got there. Like I said, well, now I kind of want to talk about my journey up until now. This is this keeps going. It's never gonna stop now. So, but basically, there's a few people that I really need to thank, that got me to this position today. Because without them, again, this I wouldn't have made it this far. Like, I mean, not to say that I probably wouldn't, but again, without these people's help, it made it a great deal, much easier, and made it a fun experience for me. And it made me actually enjoy bodybuilding. Like I'm blessed to have these people in my life. And the first person I have to say is, my mom. First off, my mom at every show. Now I make sure that now that I can afford to do things, I make sure that I fly her out. I flew her out to Pittsburgh every single year so she can be at the team nationals and the collegiate nationals whenever I competed. And secondly, Joe LaBelle with mostmuscular.com, because it's quite ironic and random that I met this guy after my second show that I did, the Ronnie, whenever I was 17. I was a senior in high school at this point. And he offered, to do a photo shoot with me and some video, and get paid for it. So I was like, hell yeah, I want to do this shit. Because I mean, we're getting paid for your own pictures. Like that's awesome. And now I have something to show for other than these pictures on stage. Something more, how you could say, more artistic in a sense. And I always felt like I wanted to get into like some fitness modeling and stuff. So it worked out really well. Hey, by the way, at this time I had braids. I had some really long hair. I mean, my hair was long and curly. So I mean, people, always, you can always see that I was mixed or that I looked mixed, but whatever. But yeah, I had braids at this time, and I was surprised. I was like, really, me? You want to shoot me? And so we got to talking after our photo shoot, and he kind of convinced me to do this natural show called the Musclemania in Miami. And I was like, cool, I want to do it. I can go to Miami? Hell yeah, shit. But at this point, I knew how to prep for a show, but I didn't know how to prep for multiple shows. So when I did the Ronnie again and I won the year later when I was 18, I was a freshman in college at this point. I was taking these part-time classes. I had to, because I've had to work the entire time. Since I've left high school, I've been working. So, I mean, I do what I can. But I was a freshman in college, and I won the Ronnie. I got first place in the team. And, I mean, at this point, I learned nutrition. I learned how to do certain things. I read a lot of, if you guys know who this guy is, Lane Norton. I mean, on bodybuilding.com, like, I read all his stuff. I visited his website, his articles, and whatever, and I learned a great deal from this person. So that's kind of how I got started, man. Really, really getting it down, and I got my best conditioning. So I mean, I looked great, but I didn't know how to move from there. And this is where I remember it was a Lone Star, the Lone Star here in Texas, and Joe's like, well, I have somebody that needs a favor from me, so I'll have him talk to you. So we drove up to Dallas, and this is when I met Sagi Kalev. Man, Sagi Kalev is one freaking awesome dude, straight up. He might look, if you look at him, he looks like Superman, number one. But he seems like this cocky, arrogant, son of a bitch. But, when you actually sit there and talk to him, the dude is just chill as fuck. I mean, really nice guy. And, he talked to me and was like, I had 2 weeks left for this show. And I was like, man, I'm not going to do it. I'm not really feeling confident right now. I dieted all the way through, and I had a really big cheat meal this past evening. This is whenever I didn't know that cheat meals were actually going to be good for you. So I had this really big cheat meal, And so I was kind of bloated when he saw me. He's like, man, he's like, it looks like we have some work to do in 2 weeks. But like, so he's like, he told me what to do. You know, he added a little bit of cardio to my regimen. He fixed my diet a little bit. And within a week, this cheat meal fucking worked. I didn't tell him though, but this cheat meal worked. I came back and I mean, I was diced. I mean, it kind of revamped my body again. So he's like, holy crap, man, it's like night and day. What did you do? I just did what you told me to do. So a week later, I ended up winning the show. And so you know, I'm happy. He's happy, and I want to do the team nationals after this. I was like, my goal is to do team nationals, see how I can do there. So Sagi kind of just took me under his wing, and allowed me to sit there and you know, I drove to Dallas every day. At this time, I was still living in Arlington, the Fort Worth area. I drove to Dallas every day to go train with him, and he prepped me for the show. And I got sixth place the first team nationals, but I mean, I looked my best to the date. I looked my best, so I couldn't be mad. You know, I was actually you know, quite happy. I couldn't complain. I was like, man, you know what? I looked my best. I did what I did, and that was the placing. They all just were bigger and better. So be it. But I wasn't, you know, me being the sore loser in my mind at the same time, I was like, I want to do another show and I want to freaking win. So we ended up doing the Europa this year. I think it was 2008, Europa 2008. I win the team. Well, I actually got second in the team class. I'm sorry, to Charles. This kid, he was a pro. His dad was a pro. I got second in the team class, but I won the novice overall. So, I mean, and I was actually, I didn't even think I was going to win. I went up there, I was drinking freaking Gatorade in the back and eating cheesecake and shit, and I was like, man, I'm just whatever. I'd won my class, but I was like, man, whatever. So I went up on stage, and I guess a little bit of cheesecake and some cookies they just got me just super vascular, and I went up there and I won. I was like, holy crap, I just won this damn thing. So that was my first overall experience. So I was like, man, you know, this is pretty legit. So this is whenever Sagi and I talked about it, and you know, we took our training, you know, we continued to train. We really had a full off season this time, and I was like, let's do the team nationals again. And this time I won the team nationals in 2009. Well, I won my weight class. My friend Uriah McGee, he won the overall. And that was actually the year that I won the light heavy, Uriah won the middleweight, and Chris Hunt, also from Texas in Fort Worth, whom we're all acquainted with, won the lightweight. So it was just a total Texas takeover. Which, I mean, that alone made me happy. We all went out to eat and we just enjoyed it. We enjoyed our win. And I continued to work with Sagi through, you know, the next year or so. I did the collegiate nationals in 2010, and I mean, I gained a lot of size. I got bigger, but my conditioning kind of took a halt. You know, it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be. And you know, at this point, I kind of figured, I was like, you know, I guess Sagi has kind of maximized, you know, what he can do for me at this point. So that's why I sought out, you know, other help, because at this point, I moved up to Plano, and I started working at Metroflex Plano as a personal trainer. And you know, I met Greg, and you know, I've known Greg, but I mean, I got acquainted with Greg a lot more. He became one of my good friends, and Steve Kuklo, whom you may know, you know, the IFBB pro, but he wasn't pro at that time. Just got on board with Hani Rambad. So I asked him about it. I was like, man, what is your experience with him? He's like, dude, have you not seen what I've been looking like lately? And he's like, you know, I'm getting my pro card like within the next year or so. I was like, well, if it's like that, then, you know, maybe I need to really just talk to this guy. So another person that kind of actually gave me some insight on Hani was my friend Jason Phillips. Jason Phillips and his girlfriend, Catherine Holland. She's a pro in figure. She was also working with him, and with Hani, you know, she was in her best conditioning, you know, till that date. So I was like, well, man, you know, he's able to do this for her, able to do this for him. You know, you see all these guys turning pro that, you know, I'm gonna hit him up. I was like, I don't care what the price is, you know, because whenever you want something, this goes for everybody and everything in life. When you want something, I tell you this, you will do anything and everything to make that thing happen. So I wanted to win the collegiate nationals because I didn't get the overall at the team nationals like I wanted. And so I was like, I want to get this collegiate national, so that'll kind of make up for that feeling. So I hired Hani, and I mean, we took our training to another level, man. You know, I started incorporating the Evogen products because, and what I loved about the Evogen products at this time was it made everything simple. Okay, so we have your creatine, your arginine, your glutamine, your electrolyte complex. You know, we have everything all in one product, all in one product. So I mean, I didn't have to go buy like your branched chain amino acids and your creatine and this and that and none of that. So I was like, okay, I got it all in one product. So I'll stock up on this. So, you know, he gave me a little discount code from his website, and I ordered in bulk because, you know, me, I like to save a little bit of money. So if I can get as much, you know, if I can buy 6 of a case of it, then I'm going to do that. So, I started ordering cases from him, and, you know, lo and behold, I win the collegiate nationals in 2011. Freaking won the overall, and I was just ecstatic, man. Like I didn't even know what to do at this point. It was like unbelievable because it was on a big stage, you know, and I look phenomenal. He got me there, you know. I couldn't complain. He got me there. So that was the last show I've done so far. You know, I've contemplated doing the USA's the last couple years, but I mean that hasn't happened. You know, a lot of things. You know, when I compete again, this is what I want to tell everybody. When I compete again, like I was at the collegiate nationals, I just want to step on stage, and everybody's looking for second place. Because if that's not what I get or I give to these other competitors, then I haven't done enough yet. So that's why I've waited. That's why I've waited the last couple of years, and I'll wait another year until I'm there fully. You know, my size is up to par with the national level competitors, so that again, I want to be like Phil Heath, win the junior nationals, win the USA's, and boom, turn pro. I'm only 23 right now, so I mean, I got time on my side, so I feel like, you know, if I can do that, then that's what I want to do, and Hani and I have that same mentality, so. You know, he kind of just pushed it in my head. He's like, I want Phil Heath roundness on you. He's like, and you have the potential to do that. So, you know, and I know that Hani isn't gonna just talk bullshit into people's ears, because he's probably one of the the most actually like negative critiques I've ever received. He's like, you're fucking fat, dude. What the fuck are you doing? And so I had to drop a little bit of body fat, and he's like, you know, you can't get fat. He's like, you know, because and it's true. You know, it makes your prep a lot harder whenever you do that. You know, I don't want to be. You know, I've been the person where I've had to do 2 hours of cardio and 50 grams of carbs, you know, to get in shape. I mean, luckily the last couple of years, my body has kind of just changed a little bit to where I haven't had to do that. It's actually my metabolism has ramped up. So, you know, it's almost more difficult for me to put on, you know, to keep the mass while I'm dieting. So. But man, I mean that's pretty much it. That's my journey up until now, past that point from my first vlog video that I made yesterday. But man, again, this story still is continuing now, and hopefully soon I'll be a pro, and I can have my little pro card that's like this big and laminated with my name on it. But again, I want to thank Joe LaBelle. For giving me the vision and the light to be able to, you know, get this far in bodybuilding, because honestly, without you, man, I wouldn't be here. Sagi Kalev, same thing. From the day that I met you, you know, you pushed me up, and you gave me that push to get to be, you know, basically make it in the sport of bodybuilding, and of course Hani Rambad for all the success I've had the last couple of years and joining the Evogen team, and because I'm a firm believer in your product, so. You know, I hope that I can make as many believers out of your products as well in the rest of this world. And those are the true inspirations for me. All right, guys. I'm gonna keep this 15 minutes. All right. Till next time. Peace out.